Thank you so much. At this time, we'll open it up for questions from the judges.
Thank you. I am thrilled that we have students like you and the ones that preceded you, and hopefully the ones that will come later, that are interested in Cuban infrastructure issues and solutions, even though they have no direct ties to the country. I really appreciate your efforts in that regard, and I'm very happy to see that we will engineer a better future thanks to your efforts. I think I noticed that your economic analysis is different than the one that was presented in the written paper. Could you comment on what the changes were or the major changes that you made between the written paper and the current one?
Yeah, the major changes is we consider about the retention time of the CAP pound and also HRAP pound. So previously we think that it take 1 day to process the wastewater treatment, but actually for CAP pound it could take 20 days. So the capacity of the treatment plant will decrease if we consider the retention time is 20 days. But currently we can still get a lot of benefit yearly.
Okay. I don't have the numbers directly in terms of what you assume were the revenues, but you have some significant numbers in the old one, which I don't see in here. The revenue from residents, you brought it down to 527,000. It was much higher than that before. Did you consider the ability of the Cuban people to pay? The numbers, I know the numbers you had assumed in here were rather high for the ability of the Cuban population to pay. I don't know what these numbers are based on now, but did you take that into consideration?
The benefit, it is about 5% of previously, because we, like I just said, that the retention time is right now 20 days, so it will scale down. And we calculate like the wastewater treatment revenue based on with the population we will serve. The population is about 10,000 people, and I checked the price of the wastewater and to calculate the wastewater revenue. It is a number here, about 0.5 million.
Okay. Last question from me. I don't want to take over this thing. You said that there were California and New Zealand systems that use similar systems to what you're proposing here, the microalgae systems. Are those considered commercially feasible, commercially available technology at this stage, or are they still in the experimental phase, et cetera?
So the one in rural California is at full operation for private use, for public use, while the New Zealand one that we referenced a lot is in its experimental phase, but it has been proven to be very successful, and the New Zealand pilot plants are increasing in numbers and also spreading to Spain.
Again, I also want to congratulate you for the non-Cuban approach to Cuban problems. Let me ask you a question. Where does the original algae to get this going come from?
So we talked to Dr. Ben Koopman when he has his whole doctorate was on microalgae, which was very convenient for us because he was in our department. But when we consulted with him, asking him where we could get this initial spores of microalgae, and he had said that during his experiments that the microalgae has spores in the environment already, that when we have an open source of water and nutrients, that it will appear at its most efficient state. So the species of microalgae is not controlled by us, but by the environment, because it will flourish at its most efficient. So if the most, let's say, desirable microalgae will flourish when we have the open pond set up. Mm-hmm.
I congratulate you because I see a very good feasibility study in this project. Do you think that your technology could be used in the excretion of swine farms?
Yes, the primary purpose of microalgae treatment plant started with piggery effluent. So this is where it originated in. So yes.
Thank you very much.
Excellent presentation, excellent paper. And I thank you for being here. And double pleasure because it's two females presenting. I had a question. I'm kind of confused now after the presentation with a change on the feasibility and economics of the project. If the average and highest salary of a Cuban professional is compared to less than $35 a month, how much would it cost to a regular citizen of Cuba actually to pay for this service?
Yeah, it is a good question. We haven't looked into the workforce we need for this treatment plant. Our yearly revenue is about $0.6 million, and like you said, if we assume 30,000 for a job, then I think it still be feasible for this kind of treatment plant. Yeah, because this much is a lot.
Also, these numbers were based on U.S. wastewater treatment use and fees. So our avoided CH4 emissions as well as our methane production would counteract the reduction in revenue, I believe, even if this was significantly reduced from the wastewater revenue from the citizens. The biomass production, the fertilizer production, and the methane production would counteract that as a buffer.
Thank you.
Thank you, judges. Any questions from the audience at this time?
Thank you. Congratulations. I have two questions. One relating to operability of the plant. Do you think that the operational expertise exists or could exist in Cuba to operate a fairly sophisticated plant like this?
Yeah, actually, it is not complicated to operate this treatment plant. You see, so this one doesn't need really operation. The only process will be the process to extract the biogas, and it will need some people to take an eye on it, and it is very easy. And also for the HRAP, it is also easy. The only maintenance will be on this part, the pedal part, because we need the pedal to facilitate the wastewater flow. So it is also easy to operate it.
Okay, thank you. The second question has to do with land.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to put side by side two plants, this type of plant and then a more traditional, say, activated sludge plant,
Mm-hmm.
on a relative basis, how much land would each one of them take? Does this plant take twice as much land as a traditional, or 3 times? Or I'm concerned about the availability of land to implement this on a bigger scale.
Yeah, actually the CAP plant will not take a lot of land use. The problem is the HRAP, and it is true that the microalgae-based wastewater treatment will take more land use. And but we think that it is still feasible, and we referred to our advisor, Dr. Cookman, and we said that our treatment plant is about more than 10 acres, and he said it is fine for a treatment plant.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to the two presenters. Please give one big round of applause to them.